Your Creative Push, episode 101.
Don't tell me lies. I hate your eyes. When I look away, then you always say how you need me. But I don't see. I'll make you mine. I'll make you mine. Wake up, wake up, wake up. I've been dreaming forever of you. Wake up, wake up, wake up. There ain't nothing else I can do. I'll make you mine. I'll make you mine. I'll make you mine.
Welcome to Your Creative Push, the podcast that pushes you to pursue your creative passions. I'm your host, Youngman Brown, and my guest today is Joanna Sternberg. Joanna is a singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist living in New York City. She primarily plays the double bass, but also plays electric bass, guitar, and piano. Joanna sings and writes songs and regularly performs her original music. She plays folk, country, blues, rock, ragtime, classical, gospel, funk, rhythm and blues, klezmer, and jazz, ranging from the style of the 1920s to the present day. Joanna is also currently in a band called Fraydele. And on top of all of that, Joanna is a visual artist. And Joanna, I mean, my goodness, that's, that's so much going on. I'm like out of breath reading that intro. But so I can't imagine how you do it. So I guess the first question's an obvious one. It's, how and why do you do so much?
Oh wow, that's so nice of you. I guess I just like to do all those things when I'm in different moods, so each mood has a thing to do.
So is it just like a natural thing? Did you have to learn each of the styles, or is it just kind of you just went for it?
Well, I'm kind of weird in that I really like different styles of music. It might be easier if I didn't like so many,
Mm-hmm.
but I just really, not to be cheesy, but I just really feel the music I play. So it
Mm-hmm.
didn't really take that much learning as opposed to just doing it and having fun.
Yeah, and I think the most astounding part of all this is you'd think that doing so much it would hurt the quality of the music, but it's that's not the case at all. Each song is very unique and special. And I was talking to my wife about this the other day that when I listen to music, historically, I don't pay attention to the lyrics. Like I just listen to the song as a whole, and we were just listening to like classic songs that from my past that I was listening to, and I was like, wow, I've never actually listened to the words of this song. But with your music, it's like each song tells a story, and each song is very unique and special. So
Oh, thank you so much.
oh, absolutely. So like as far as like the actual writing of the words, the writing of the songs, where does that inspiration come from?
It usually is just something in my life I need to get out. So whenever something happens that isn't so great, I'll make sure to take note of it pretty much.
And then does it usually end up becoming a part of a song like right away, or does it sometimes, stew in your brain or stew in your notebook for a while before it finds its way into a song?
Yeah, I'd say 50% each way.
Gotcha. Can you talk about Fraydele a little bit? Does that offer a different, unique experience for you?
Oh, sure. So that's a band it's very new, but we play music that my grandma sang because she was in the Yiddish theater. Um, Her name was Fraydele Oysher, and her brother were kind of stars in the Yiddish theater. They were huge stars actually. His name was Moshe Oysher. So we do songs that they sang and kind of arrange them.
Do you prefer doing that, like performing with a group, or do you like to do solo? Or
They're all good for different times of my week. So sometimes solo's really fun. Sometimes I'd rather not do solo stuff. And sometimes I do my songs with a band. So it's all mixed up.
I got you, and that's good. I think it makes it not get monotonous, switching it up.
Totally.
So you're very prolific. I think you've put out, what, 3 albums in the past 2 years? Is that right?
It's true, but one I thought I sounded bad on, so I took it off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that was just because I didn't like some of my songs.
I got you. Well, either way, though, just the output. You're like an output machine. How do you find the time to kind of do that?
That's a good point. It's kind of like I just make it happen because I feel I have to, but right now I'm actually, believe it or not, taking a little break.
Oh, good. You deserve it.
It feels a little weird, but I realized I had to do it.
Gotcha. So it's a planned break, and when are you just waiting to get back to it, or you're just kind of making yourself sit out?
I think it's a mixture of both, but I am still performing. I just needed a break from writing because it's a little bit emotionally draining.
Absolutely, especially like you said, when you sing from the heart and it's
Oh,
just like all very personal. Then yeah, you can only put so much of yourself out there before you have to kind of reset and fill the tank again.
right, yeah, I definitely need to reset and fill the tank.
I hear you. So you also do art, and I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that. What is the difference then, creatively, to get the your creative juices out in that way as opposed to singing?
Well, that is a little more. I don't want to use the word fun, but it's definitely less draining and taxing on me to draw, and that it kind of just makes me the happiest, I'd say.
Oh, cool. And then when did that start? Have you always been drawing? Have you always been singing?
Yeah, I think I've been drawing longer than I've been singing now for like 2 years or 3 years.
You've only been singing for 2 years?
Yeah, because I was really scared to sing for a while,
Oh
being
my gosh.
instrumentalist.
So, wow, that's I'm sorry, I'm shocked right now because you're such a beautiful singer. That kind of amazes me. I thought that the answer would 100% be like, "Oh, I've been singing since birth."
Oh my gosh, thank you. That's so nice of you.
Well, can we, if you don't mind, can we talk about that a little bit? Because, I have similar experience with some of my writing and some of the creative projects that I do. And that's the reason I started the podcast, because I was so terrified to actually to do the work that I just kind of wasted like 2 or 3 years of just thinking about doing an idea and never putting it out. So I can definitely relate, and I know that a lot of people listening can definitely relate. So if you wouldn't mind, could you talk a little bit about what that was like and what you were able to do to finally start singing?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely, like you said, something I always wanted to do, but I just never thought I could. And I don't know why I had a block about it. And I'd also play music as the bass player with singers, and a lot of them seemed not very supportive of me doing it.
Really?
Yeah, there was some, yeah, like not supportiveness. But this was a while ago, wasn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And I felt terrified to do it, but then I started writing these songs, and then I started singing them in a voice that was kind of covering up my real voice, I guess. I was singing in a voice, like a lower voice, that I thought would be less easy to make fun of,
Mm-hmm.
but it turned out to sound worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to some singing lessons to find my singing voice, because I think everybody needs to go to have someone help them find it. And then my teacher said, "Oh, that's your singing voice," and I was just singing like out of nowhere, and then I just started using my normal voice, and that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, that's so cool. We had the singer Steven on, and he had a similar story where he was very embarrassed to sing, and he wouldn't even sing in the shower. And one of my favorite quotes that he said was like he would anytime that he would sing, it would be in this like jokey, singy voice, you know. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, especially when you're starting to talk about doing like some type of creative thing, whether it's, you know, I'm gonna start a podcast, you know, it's like in that kind of a voice where it's like you don't want to fully put yourself out there, because then that's a very vulnerable thing to do. So congratulations to you for, you know, for finding your voice essentially, metaphorically and in reality.
Thank you so much.
Do you have any advice to give to somebody that is currently in a similar situation that you were in, where, you know, you're either afraid to sing or you're afraid to do whatever it might be? What advice would you give to them to kind of push them to actually go and do it and be themselves?
Oh, so wow! I never thought I'd be asked this. Wow. I guess like maybe to find some people you trust who could help you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard to do it all alone. Just some people, even your family people, who will tell you the truth. Because a lot of my beginning singing stuff, like I made a whole album like with a band of my songs like a while ago, but I was singing in that low voice. And my singing teacher said, that's not your real voice. You have to take that off the internet. But I knew she was right. And I wouldn't have done it if she didn't tell me to. Because she also helped me do the right way of singing.
Right.
So it was good and also bad.
I hear you. Yeah, I think, you know, finding people that can help you, that's a vulnerable place too, but I guess it's a little bit less of a scary thing. But it's still, you know, you're putting yourself out there saying, hey, this is something that I want to do, or hey, can you listen to this, or hey, can you read this, or hey, can you take a look at this? But you're right, it's a more trusting atmosphere, and you know that they won't completely like crush you, you know, which is really important.
Yeah.
Aside from that, have you had any, or do you still currently have any types of like resistances, like some things that hold you back on a daily basis from any type of creative thing, whether it's singing or songwriting or you doing your art?
Yeah. I have a lot of issues with like self-image and the way I look, and that makes it hard to even put pictures of me up for promotional stuff and doing any of that type of stuff. No offense to the artists who take the pictures or take the videos, because they're very talented, but it's just the way I see myself, and I don't know if it's true or not, but recently some people put up some videos of me they took in September, and I asked them to take it down, and I felt bad because they worked hard on them and they did it, but I just didn't. I felt so bad about how I looked.
Well, you shouldn't, Joanna.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, you don't have to say that, but thanks. That's the thing I really struggle with a lot. A lot.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think sometimes you're your own worst enemy, and sometimes you, for better or worse, you know, you see yourself in the worst way.
Yeah.
You know, like you see all the bad things as opposed to the beautiful things and the good things. You know.
Yeah.
Would you have any advice to give to anybody that might struggle from that same type of thing?
I think I might need the advice when it comes to that. Well, the thing I do is I just draw myself for all the posters, so I don't have to use photos of me, but that's not really advice.
Yeah, well, that is advice, and that's cool. I mean, I've seen some of your drawings too. Maybe we could use one in our show notes page.
Oh, cool.
Do you have like a best moment or a most triumphant creative moment that you could tell us about?
Well, sometimes I'm proud that I could take stuff in my life that's negative and write a song about it. Like, I was having a really bad time in the fall because I was working too much. I had a couple too many jobs, and I wrote a song I kind of like from it. So,
What song is that?
oh, it's called Mountains High.
Mountains High. Cool.
Yeah, and I just kind of was proud that I took that horrible time into, oh, I'm going to write a song.
Very cool. And I think that's really the takeaway from there is, to grab those negative things, and if you're not ready right now, write it down and then turn it into something beautiful later, or something that you can actually, something tangible that you can take from it, and maybe a lesson that you can teach to other people as well.
Totally.
With kind of what we were talking about before, what is it like for you performing? Do you get nervous and stuff like that, or do you find yourself in a different place mentally whenever you're like on stage in front of people?
Yeah, I've gotten nervous randomly before at random times where I don't know why, but it's a little bit like second nature to me, just because when you write the songs, it's even more inside of you. So I'm lucky that I have it all pretty much taken care of.
So that's like the output part, and then it's like when you're singing the song, are you outside of the song, or do you get back to the place where you were when you wrote the song, or is it just like a performance?
I really make sure that, like, every time I sing any one of my songs, I think of the same things singing it. I think of what the song's about, because every lyric like means something to me and stuff. So I get images of the song, and it's like, yeah, I just tell the story every time of what happened, kind of. So I'm lucky that my songs don't have too many complicated lyrics.
Yeah, but they're not complicated, but they're very specific to you, and you can tell that like from the songs, but also I feel like you can relate to it. Like before I jumped on the call with you, I was telling my wife, you gotta listen to this girl, because like it would be a song that I would send to her, like that's about us, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
That's so sweet.
But yeah, like it's personal to you, and it's like you have your own story, but other people can relate, I guess, is the point that I'm trying to make. And that I think for people listening, with whatever it is that you're doing, if you make it personal about you and kind of ignore the audience, I think then the audience will be able to connect more with it, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all kind of experience the same type of things, and it's easy to make connections in that way.
Right. Yeah, I definitely also do write things for kind of someone I don't even know who might be going through it.
Mm-hmm. And that's like the beautiful thing about art and about music and about art in general, is that it is this like connection. It is this communication. You do it first and foremost for yourself, but at the end of the day, like it's really important to share it and to try to connect with other people so that they can benefit from it, and we can kind of progress as a humanity,
Totally.
Now, I know you're taking time off now, but when you're especially busy with all the things that you've got going on, do you have a formula for balancing your time?
I make a lot of schedules, and like I'm kind of just taking off time from I guess writing now. The thing is, I'm also I play jazz bass, and I play a lot of styles of double bass and electric bass, so I do a lot of concerts and gigs with that. And so I have to balance that between my songs and drawing and all the stuff I do. So I make 3 schedules and write everything in all of them. One's on my phone. Oh no, 2 schedules. Sorry, one's on my phone and one's in a moleskin. In case I lose one, I'll have the other, and then it helps me remember better.
Very smart.
Thanks.
So with all these shows that you do, I know you're taking a break right now, but do you have any performances coming up or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm playing a 3 Thursday residency at Sunny's Bar in Red Hook.
No way.
Yeah!
That's so cool. We just had, do you know Jeff Tochi?
Of course.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah. He has a show there right now.
He's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool guy too.
Totally.
So, wait, tell us a little bit more about the details there. It's a residency there?
Yes, it's going to be June 2nd, 9th, and 16th. So it's 3 Thursdays in a row in June, and every Thursday I'm going to do my songs with a band.
Very cool, and that's at Sunny's Bar.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite places ever.
Awesome. Joanna, what does art and creativity bring to your life?
Well, drawing makes me feel calmer, and then music makes me feel more alive. But they both kind of help me just deal with life.
Yeah, can take you through the ups and through the downs as well.
Yeah.
Do you have a greatest inspiration?
There's a cartoonist I love named Roz Chast, Rozchast. She's probably for some reason she's my biggest inspiration in the world. Even music, just everything she does, but also Randy Newman.
Very cool. Do you have a favorite book or YouTube clip or anything else that you draw inspiration from? Maybe it's a Roz Chast drawing or something that maybe we could as well.
Yeah, on YouTube, there's a show I love, and it's all 81 episodes are on YouTube, and it's called Dr. Katz Professional Therapist. Do you know it?
No, I've never heard of it.
This cartoon, it's a comedy written by this comedian I love named Jonathan Katz, and he plays a therapist, and all these comedians come in for therapy, like Louis C.K. and
cool.
Dave Chappelle, and it's just the most funny, brilliant show. I love it. So that's one of my inspirations. Like whenever I draw, I put Dr. Katz on.
So it's kind of in the background to help you, to help motivate you.
Yeah.
Joanna, it's time for the final push. And this is where I ask you to reach to the microphone and grab the shoulder of one of the listeners that you've already really inspired today. That's thinking, maybe I need to get back to work, or, maybe it's time for me to, find my real voice and be brave enough to put it out there. And just give them your best words of advice and really just push them to pursue their creative passions.
Okay, yeah. Well, my main reason that you should pursue your creative passions is whether you know it or not, it'll inspire someone else to. You may never even know it, but you have to do it if you're feeling like you maybe even are thinking about it. You have to just put it out there because you don't know how it could help other people.
Absolutely. I've talked about this a little bit on the show too. It's like when you do put it out there, when you do create it, to assume that it might be 100 years from now that it could be really truly appreciated. Like it might transcend time,
Mm-hmm.
and to kind of go into it with that hope, so that there's no real pressure on you, and then there's no disappointment if you don't get 1 million Facebook followers or whatever the metric that we, I think, mistakenly put on what good art or what good music is, and just hope that it can transcend time.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a hopeful way to go, and a hopeful way to end this talk. So, Joanna, thank you so much for coming on the show today and for giving us that push.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And you can find Joanna at her website, which is joannasternbergmusic.com. On SoundCloud, Bandcamp, and Facebook, she is Joanna Sternberg. And if you want to check out her art, you can head to joannasternbergart.com, or on Facebook, it's Revenge of the Scribble, which I love.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Joanna. Thank you so much again.
Thanks.
Wow, so now over 100 episodes, and this episode marks the most surprised I've been. I was literally at a loss for words when she told me that she's only been singing for 2 years. I thought she was messing with me, for real, because her voice is amazing, and she sings with such confidence, and she's such a good songwriter. It was just amazing to me. I was totally shocked. But that just goes to show you that it's never too late to really do that thing that maybe you've been thinking about doing your whole entire life. Whatever it is that you're scared of, whatever the reason is that you're holding back and not even trying it out, just try it. You don't even have to tell anybody that you're going to try it. Just go for it and figure it out for yourself. There's a chance you might be amazing at it, and there's also a chance that you need to do a lot of work on it, but you love doing it. And that's the thing. You're never going to know unless you actually try. Just try to find your true voice. It's hard to do. It can be scary to put yourself out there with whatever your creative endeavor is. but it's one of the most empowering things that you can do, to put yourself out there for no one else but yourself. So a huge thank you again to Joanna for coming on the show, a huge inspiration to me, and I know that it will inspire all of you as well. On Friday's show, we have Mitch Bowler.
What we really try to do is get people to take action, because it's great. You can sit and you can watch something, you could listen to a podcast, but it's when you actually go and do something, that's where the magic happens. Until you do something, like you can have all this knowledge. We all know so much these days because of smartphones and how accessible all this information is, but you actually have to do something for that knowledge to be useful. It can't just be an anecdote that you talk with your friend about. You actually have to do something. So we really try to push people and understand how to motivate people, especially in a non-traditional classroom setting, because everything's done online. So we have students from all over the world. And so it's like, how do we get these people to push? And that's what we try and help them with.
Mitch is a really cool guy who runs this awesome site called pencilkings.com that provides a community as well as some instruction for artists or potential artists. And he also hosts the Pencil Kings podcast, and that's actually how he reached out to me. He told me about Cinzia Angelini, who was on his podcast, and he was like, hey, you should totally have her on your podcast. And I was like, okay, I will. And then she was on my podcast. It was a wonderful episode 86, if you're interested. And then I went on his podcast, and he went on mine, but just a really cool guy that, is just looking to help artists, kind of like I'm trying to do. So I feel really fortunate to have met him and to have kind of created this new friendship and kinship with a like-minded individual. And I really, really enjoyed my conversation with him on both his podcast and my podcast. But hopefully today you were inspired to go and get your work done. So go and get it done. If you've been listening, you know that we're doing 3 episodes a week now, and I have launched our Patreon page. So if you're interested at all in helping to push this show a little bit further, if it's helped you at all in any way, I would really appreciate any kind of support you can give. We have some pretty cool rewards to give out too, that I'm hoping will actually serve to build the community a little bit more. So it would be great for you to be able to get your voices out there as well. So head to patreon.com/yourcreativepush to check out all the different things that you can get by helping the show out, by helping me out. It would mean the world to me if you did. We are going to leave you with I've Got Me by Joanna Sternberg. Hopefully this can take you into your day as you go and get creative and do whatever your creative passion is. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing. I love you all, and we will be here for you on Friday if you need the push again. Have a great day, everybody.
I've got me in the morning, I've got me in the evening. I'll let you be, because I've got me. And all my faults and flaws and lies are no one's fault but mine. Between self-hatred and self-awareness is a very small thin line. I can't stop my worry and my fury of all that I've done wrong. I waste so much time, I mean it's so much time. I've got me in the morning, I've got me in the evening. I'll let you be, because I've got me. Why is it so hard to be kind and gentle to myself? Take the box of self-deprecation, lock it and put it on the shelf. Then wait 5 days, take that box and throw it in the fire. Maybe someday, oh yeah, one fine day. I've got me in the morning, I've got me in the evening. I'll let you be, because it's plain to see. I've got